Beloved, I want to speak to the part of you that knows deep down that everything around you is not as it seems. There is a war in the unseen, a realm that watches, plots, and marks. And many of us walk around unaware, dressed in garments that do more than cover our bodies. They attract spirits. Yes, even colors carry codes. Even fashion can be a portal. Today, I want to unveil something the enemy doesn't want you to know. Because while you're trying to look good, hell is trying to mark you. This isn't just about color. It's about covenant. It's about understanding spiritual intelligence. And I came here with a word that will shake your discernment awake and shift you out of ignorance. The Spirit of God sent me to warn you, don't wear this color. Witches use it to mark you. Colors are not just fashion. They're spiritual frequencies. When God created the world, He didn't just create form and function. He infused the world with meaning. Every color that exists in the natural realm corresponds to something in the spirit. We see this even in scripture. God commands Moses to use specific colors for the tabernacle. Purple for royalty, blue for divinity, scarlet for sacrifice, white for purity, gold for glory. These were not aesthetic choices. They were divine instructions. So if colors have divine significance, then it should not shock us that the kingdom of darkness has also hijacked colors for demonic purposes. Colors transmit signals. They draw attention. Not just in the physical, but in the supernatural. Spirits respond to colors the same way dogs respond to high-pitched frequencies. You might not hear it, but it's loud in the spirit realm. This is why witches and occult practitioners are extremely specific about what they wear during rituals. They know what colors open portals. They know what shade attracts which spirit. They know that red can invoke aggression, lust, or blood covenants. They know that black can represent death, secrecy, and spiritual blindness. They know what the average believer is still ignorant of, that nothing is neutral in the war for your soul. And so when you, a child of God, put on a certain color just because it's trending or because it flatters your skin tone, without asking the Holy Spirit, you may unknowingly be entering into a visual agreement with a realm you don't even believe in. This is how legal access is granted, through symbols, through agreements, through ignorance. The enemy doesn't need your permission. And you cooperate when you wear what he designed to be a mark. You see, witches don't just need to touch you to curse you. Sometimes they only need to see you marked in their assigned color and know you're spiritually available. Some of you have wondered why spiritual attacks intensify on certain days. Why you feel heaviness after dressing up and going out. Why you attract the wrong people when you wear certain clothes. It's not just your body language. It's not just the cut of your dress. Sometimes it's the color, the frequency, the code. You're wearing something that speaks a language to the demonic, a color that tells the unseen realm, this one is unguarded. This one is wearing our signal. And if the devil can't enter your house, he'll try your closet. The same way blood on the doorpost was a sign for the angel of death to pass over, colors can also be signs to angels, to demons, to monitoring spirits. And that's why we must be spiritually alert. We must discern not just what we do, but what we wear. When the enemy wants to assign a spirit of confusion or control, he often does so through symbolic access points. Colors become a covering, either for glory or for warfare. And if you are covered in the wrong thing, you will be exposed in the right moment. Fashion has become a spiritual battlefield. And many are perishing for lack of knowledge. You don't have to be part of the occult to be used by it. All you have to do is be uninformed. Be trend-driven. Be unaware. That's why witches aren't scared of your Instagram posts. They're not moved by your Sunday selfies. They're studying your patterns. What you wear, what you celebrate, what you repeat, because every color you wrap yourself in is either armor or an invitation, either covenant or compromise. And the Spirit of God is saying it's time to know the difference. Demonic agents assign meanings to colors in the occult realm. This isn't superstition, it's strategy. Just as heaven has symbols, the demonic realm mirrors and manipulates spiritual principles to carry out its agenda. In the occult, nothing is random. Everything from the time of a ritual to the garment worn during it is chosen with surgical precision. Why? Because spirits respond to alignment. Demonic forces need legal grounds. And color is one of the oldest and most underestimated access points they use to operate covertly. In witchcraft, every color serves a purpose. There are colors that call forth ancestral spirits. Others are used for curses, blood pacts, and soul manipulation. Some colors, when worn on specific days or during certain moon cycles, are believed to open spiritual gates. These are not merely traditions, they are practices embedded in demonic intelligence. For example, red is often used to summon spirits associated with war, lust, or death. Black is worn to absorb and conceal, often used during shadow work or rituals for invisibility in the spirit realm. Green in certain covens used for wealth rituals, inviting mammon spirits in financial seduction. And white, which many think only symbolizes purity, is often used in necromancy, serving as a disguise for what appears good but is rooted in darkness. Witches and warlocks do not merely wear colors, they weaponize them. They study color psychology and spiritual symbolism to manipulate environments and people. They understand that color triggers emotional and energetic reactions. When a demonic agent walks into a room dressed in a specific color, they are not just making a fashion statement. They are releasing a frequency, shifting atmospheres, commanding attention, and often performing spiritual transactions unknown. They have studied spiritual laws to the point that even their wardrobe is a ritual. But what happens when believers, unaware of this depth, begin to mimic what's popular in culture without testing the spirit behind it? The Bible warns us not to be ignorant of the enemy's devices. Yet too many Christians are wearing colors that have been marked for spiritual surveillance, exposure, and bondage. The enemy has already assigned meanings to these colors, waiting for someone to wear them in agreement, whether knowingly or not. And once that agreement is made in the spirit, it doesn't require verbal consent. Your clothing becomes your covenant. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt a shift in energy, either peace or tension, without anyone speaking? Sometimes it's because spirits recognize themselves in what someone else is wearing. You might not see it, but in the spirit realm, that color is glowing. It is announcing you before your mouth opens. Demons traffic where signals are active. This is why people under demonic oppression often feel heaviness when wearing certain items, or find themselves becoming someone else entirely when dressed in particular colors. That's not a mood swing, that's a manifestation. And let's be clear, this isn't about legalism, this is about revelation. It's about reclaiming what has been perverted. The enemy doesn't create, he imitates, twists, and corrupts. The problem is not the color itself, but the spiritual meaning assigned to it by the kingdom of darkness and your ignorance of that meaning. What God meant for royalty or worship can be flipped into something that summons spirits of bondage, perversion, or depression. And you could be cloaking yourself in warfare without even knowing it. That's why spiritual maturity requires more than just prayer. It requires discernment. There are colors God may instruct you not to wear for a season, not because it's evil, but because it's been hijacked. You must ask, what does this color mean in the spirit right now? What does it represent to the enemy? Is this just fashion, or am I forming agreements with unseen rulers? Your life, your destiny, your atmosphere. These are too important to dress casually for spiritual war. And the ones who understand that are not just protected, they are positioned. Wearing certain colors can make you spiritually visible to monitoring spirits. This is where things shift from surface level insight to deep spiritual intelligence. In the unseen realm, visibility is not just about light or darkness, it's about alignment. Spirits, both angelic and demonic, identify people not just by their name or faith, but by the spiritual codes they carry. Colors are one of those codes. When you wear a specific color that has been assigned by the demonic realm for tracking or exposure, you become a beacon, a glowing signal in the spirit realm. And many people are unknowingly walking around as marked targets. Monitoring spirits operate like demonic intelligence agents. They are assigned to observe, report, interfere, and delay. Their primary role is to watch your movements, listen to your confessions, and look for legal doors to infiltrate. They don't always attack immediately. Sometimes they monitor for years, collecting data. And one of the ways they identify who to monitor is through what you carry, especially in what you wear. Certain colors are literal summons to these spirits. You don't need to light a candle or chant an incantation. The color is enough when the frequency is right. This is why people will often experience sudden anxiety, confusion, or even lust when entering certain environments after dressing a particular way. It's not always psychological, it's spiritual interference. Monitoring spirits see your spiritual outfit long before a person sees your physical one. What's invisible to human eyes is blazing in the supernatural realm. When someone wears a color that matches a demonic assignment, that individual becomes more easily located, tracked, and influenced. This is especially true for people with prophetic callings, spiritual gifts, or destinies that threaten the enemy's agenda. The devil is not omnipresent. He depends on a network of spirits to locate, watch, and hinder people. Monitoring spirits are part of that system. And when witches assign a color to mark a territory, a bloodline, or a person, it's not symbolic, it's strategic. That color becomes a spiritual address. Every time you wear it, you reactivate your location in the spirit. You're showing up on their radar. This is why spiritual warfare sometimes feels repetitive. You keep being seen because you're still marked. You're still wearing the flag that says, I'm available. Many people can't understand why their life remains stagnant despite prayer and fasting. They don't realize they're being observed, followed, studied. Every open door is blocked right before breakthrough. Every relationship ends when momentum builds. Every opportunity crumbles at the final stage. These are often signs of demonic surveillance. And color-coded visibility is one of the tactics used to maintain that demonic gaze. When you wear something that's been consecrated in darkness, even if you bought it innocently, you can draw attention from spirits that were not originally assigned to you. It's not just about clothing either. It could be jewelry, makeup, or accessories in specific colors that were used in witchcraft rituals. You may think it's trendy, But in the spirit, it's a flag waving over your life saying, I've been marked. You could be reactivating a generational curse through fashion. And the worst part, you'll feel seen, but you won't understand why. Because the realm that sees you isn't flesh,